name's Becc. I'm a psychic channel and a spiritual unfoldment guide. Today I want to talk to you about the divine feminine and anchoring the divine feminine into our earth, into the bodies of ourselves, and so outwardly as well. This is what's happening at this time of ascension, a key frequency that is coming in to be fully embodied and expressed in a more full way is the divine feminine energy. I have notes to my side here from a channeling that I did earlier with my guides about this topic. I've also been receiving visions about the divine feminine and anchoring that and women gathering and all sorts of things for quite a while now. So that's what I've got here to the side. So what we want to share is that the sacred expression of the God force, known as woman, that is you. This is primarily a video, I should add, for women, people who identify as a woman. The masculine is also very important, and it's good for you to know about this as well. But some of the practices are going to be specific to female. There is a unique and divine light that rises through the central column, the Kundalini center of a female body, of a female energetic body. It's what we might call the place of your Shakti energy. This is your gift to the world, a world that has forgotten. It is a world that has forgotten. And when I was doing this, I was sensing this really strong, echoey, empty feeling, like there's this place in our earth and in our bodies that wants to remember, a yearning to remember. And it's been trying for a long time. This deep, deep forgetting a part of oneself. It is a time for us to truly remember now. The sort of essence of that is because the earth herself is remembering, meaning coming more into alignment with expression of this energy. That is what we're feeling in ourselves as well, as we are deeply interconnected with the earth. So the earth is remembering her heart center. In the core is where this is brimming, this energy is brimming. And the light of purification has already come, and I saw a vision of basically fire, purifying fire around the core of the earth, so that her soft nature may emerge, like a forest regrowing after a fire. What this speaks to is the way that our ascension, our collective ascension process at this time, we've all felt put through like fire. Like purification has been very intense, a very intense energy of purification has come through each of us individually and collectively on the world stage, so to speak. So the guides were sharing that the purpose for that, the sacred purpose of that, is so that like a forest fire, when it comes and everything's black and charred and it looks terrible, there's such intense beauty and a brimming softness of like a new leaf of life, a new green branch. If you've ever seen that imagery of forest fires, as painful as the fire is, that new life is so sacred and beautiful. And there's a softness to it. There's a softness to it. So the fire of purification that we've all been through has been burning away what needs to be burnt away in order for the divine feminine softness to be. It laid the foundation for that to come into form and come into our experience. So my guides were saying that the time of man is passing and divine nature is rising. Man meaning our current concept of what it is to be a third dimensional human, and returning instead, rising and returning into our divine nature. Nature being the key word here, our natural state. So this expressing an exhilaration of the divine feminine is not in any way about division of gender or sexes or anything like that. It's actually very much about unity. What it is that the feminine must rise in order for balance to return. the masculine has been very much out of proportion, imbalanced. So the feminine must rise. We are called to remember and celebrate womanhood, being woman, rather than seeing anything better than or for or against. It's just a celebration of this expression that it is to be woman, a celebration that we need to start practicing again. We stopped practicing it. We became absorbed in masculinity, absorbed in, like, I can't even find the words, like entrenched in it in our society. It's built in, it's in the foundation of our societal structure and the way that we function in life. So what we need to do and remember is to re-engage and then celebrate, looks like a celebration of the divine feminine. This is the next expression of evolution, of humanity's evolution, which is reflecting the Earth's evolution that I mentioned just before. We always mirror the Earth, and the Earth mirrors us because we are one. We are inseparable. We are a part of nature. So the divine feminine, it is softness, it is soft flowers, it is beauty, it is the voice of compassion is what my guides were sharing. The sacred voice of compassion must return to our earth. This is like a primary gift of the divine feminine essence, is to be the voice of compassion in what has been a sea of the opposite. We also want to, all of us, when I say we, all genders, all people, see the sacred power of being in softness, of being in a feminine way. See the sacred power of that. It is a different approach. It is, rather than trying to become something with your goals in life or your your dreams, rather than trying to become, we just are it. We become it through focused intention, and we birth it through focused intention. It is a stillness, and it is a flowing and a harmonious resonance with nature, that we would become the correct energy and trust in the birthing process, just like you have to if you're a woman and you give birth, and that things just happen. Life simply becomes through our focused intention. And that's the part that nature plays, to just let the body do its thing, to just let our creations do their thing. That is the feminine way that needs to return. You can see how that makes sense when we think about being in rhythm with nature. I shouldn't direct nature, try to tell nature what to do. I do my part of anchoring in what I want to create, and then I trust in the unified forces of light to express it in the highest way possible, in the most natural and harmonious way possible. So what else have I got here? So the message at the moment, especially for women, is we are very much asked to or called to by this call, this core resonance in the earth. It's also coming from the stars and humanity's remembrance of who we have been and who we are in other times. We are called to focus our energy at this time. Focusing our energy really means to sit with your own energy, intend connection to your divine feminine energy, the femininity, accessing the Sophia. The Sophia is a word to describe the female aspect of the God force, of Source. So intentionally accessing Sophia in you, just through intention. It doesn't have to be complicated. Whether you touch it, when you just touch it through your intention, through your presence, this is focusing your energy. Because what we give our focus to, our attention to, builds and grows as creator beings. So we want to build this energy, build this attentive presence, and this intention and return to our own essence. And then in doing so, you will feel how beautifully soft that is, but also this like really strong brimming power that is. We also, there is an asking here, another part of the asking is that we anchor in, we give the divine feminine to the land, to the earth, to each other as well. With every interaction that we have, we try to be example of the divine feminine energy. We embody it, and so through that embodiment, we imbue it. We imbue it into our interactions and into the earth that we walk upon. And if you spend time in nature, you can give that energy to our mother. So this is the Sophia returning, a core original essence of the God force, returning to being materialized, to being embodied here. We want to see it as already done, already complete, and what we're just doing is just remembering and re-entraining, refocusing upon something that's always been, already here, already complete. We don't want to see it as fragmented or lost or anything like that, because it's not. It's less expressed only by virtue of our swayed, like our attention. You know, we've been looking over here. We are creator beings. We focus and we create. We've been very wrapped up in the masculine. That's all. So we want to move our attention to the feminine. So I just wrote about a vision that I had here. So in this vision, which speaks to what to do, this sort of part is about what we can do. It's about creating a magical ceremony for yourself, a time, as I said, to focus the divine feminine in me, in you, remembering what it is to be in that feminine energy, just by sitting with it and getting in touch with the tones. When you do that, you'll feel your unique tones of the expression of divine feminine that you are. So what I mean is, some women, there's more of a tone of like wisdom. Some women, there's more of a tone of softness. Some, there's more a tone of beauty. We all have those qualities, but some of us are more predisposed characteristics. They're more our focused characteristics. So get in touch with that and just explore and be curious about that energy. Feel it. Spend some time just sitting in your own energy and noticing what's here. Notice. Am I softness? Am I water? Just play. But there was a vision here of what we really can do, and we've focused that energy enough that you feel kind of comfortable with it and you feel like you have a pretty sharp or good like resonance with it. What we can then do is actually birth this energy, that sacred divine Sophia within us. So not your individual feminine essence, but the essence of that is the everythingness of femininity, the source aspect, the Sophia. We can actually birth it through our womb. I'm moving my hands downwards, but through the womb and out into the vaginal canal, and out into life, into the earth, into if you're doing a ritual and you want to use you know, a crystal or something, if you send the energy down through that way, being very slow and intuitive as you do it, building the so you want to kind of just be focusing on it, and then you want to be breathing. And you want to, as you go, what I mean is notice where there's resistance. So like for instance, if you bring your attention to the womb area and you feel any negative emotions or you feel any resistance or tension, I don't want you to just like push past that and keep going out, you know, down. This can be a slow process that you do over time. So you begin to focus the energy Maybe you meet with resistance in the womb, lower abdomen area one day, and you just be with it. Explore that resistance, heal that resistance with your focused presence and with love, with attention, with whatever you like to do, you know. All of our healing is unique. Some people would like to sit up and journal at that point. Whatever you want to do. Be intuitive with your unique process. We must be intuitive with our healing process to know what is appropriate for our unique essence. And that just means be open. Just try stuff. If you don't know or you don't feel confident, just try stuff. But yeah, don't push past any resistance. But the idea is, in time, you'll be able to build the focused energy, moving it into the womb, moving it lower and lower down through the vaginal canal and the cervix, and out, essentially. And this can be done through, if you're an energy worker, you might feel it. You might just, you don't have to be an energy worker, but you can just see it. You might just know. Whatever you like to, whatever clairs you like to use. Send the energy into the earth and into your ritual, whatever you're doing. When we do this, we are actually helping the Sophia bloom. It's like my guide's saying now, it's like planting seeds. It's like helping. We're just helping to plant seeds into the earth. And I see in this vision my guide's showing me, I see these beautiful flowers blooming off of that. So you're going to be helping the divine feminine anchor into the earth in a really big way, you know, as opposed to this masculinity. This is something that we as women can offer the earth and can do. It's very powerful. So as we do that, the thing is that as you do that, we create healing for ourselves, and we also, as I said, facilitate the birthing and healing of the new for the planet. That is anchoring the divine feminine, and that is what I really feel like women are being called to ask at this, to flow at this time. We are being asked to anchor the divine feminine into the earth, because it's already happening. It just, we have to say yes, we have to receive what's here, and we have to become a part of the process. Yeah, so more suggestions from the guides was just also to just make sure you create your own unique sacred ritual or sacred space. You want to create that space that has, you want it to feel feminine, right? So feminine energies, most of us are pretty good at telling what feels feminine-ish and what doesn't. But for your reference, it's things like water, it's things like beauty, it's softness, it's nature, it's like colors like pinks, purples, anything that has those tones of just flow and softness. Also music is quite a feminine thing. So create a sacred space that you can spend time, and that will help you to, creating the right kind of energetic environment will help you create easier with the focused energy practice. It will support you in that. So the other part of things is that bathing and water, because water is such a strong aspect of the feminine, because water represents flow, the divine mother, purification, mainly flow. Water is a sacred part of these rituals. And actually I was seeing visions of other worlds, other lifetimes, where bathing was a very strong like ritual before or after ceremonial practices for women. We would bathe in the water, and it was a sign of reverence for ourselves as women, the sign of reverence of treating this essence as sacred through gentle washing and cleansing, not to get rid of anything, but to restore and to be connected and to be in honoring of the sacred divine feminine within us. Bathing, the other part of it is that if you think about it, it is also akin to a womb. Okay, so that's also why it helps activate the divine feminine, being held in the water. All of that helps us draw on our sacred, divine, feminine, creative power, because then we're kind of holding ourselves in a womb and we're activating the seat of our creative power, the womb. So that is another part, that's another like ritual thing that you could be doing with yourself to help yourself touch in with your divine femininity, and if you ever want to do this earth planetary healing and work as well. So you could do that in a river, which is nice. When we each do this, we will get in touch with the truth of our essence, that we are the great mother. And I know that when I really sort of connect with that and sense that as reality, I feel this strong force energy. It's like the God force, but it's different. There's that feminine quality to it. And there's this ownership quality to it, that it's something that I am of, and that I have come to bring through. It's like there's almost this like royal duty feeling with it, because it is you and it is our sacred gift to the world, and it's so needed right now. So what we want to understand about women is that we create with intentional light. We actually create through a process of surrender that I did speak a little earlier about it. Again, it's like akin to the process of birth. There's a surrendering to the process through nature. And if you look at nature and the way that plants and wild animals live, there is a great surrender to the flow of nature, the harmony of nature, and any disharmony that comes up. There's constant surrender and non-resistance, yet they still create and flowers still bloom. So what that is a willingness to be in alignment with the natural world, the natural rhythms, the alignment of the universe, once our part of focusing our intention and envisioning what we want to create is done. But really it's pure focused intention. We allow, and then we allow it to be, knowing that this is the only way. The old way, the only way. These words, the only way, I felt like it was coming in from past life experiences, where this is an expression. It's an expression of being unified with the God force and nature, being unified with nature and the rhythms of those things when you create. The only way. It's the practice of perfect harmony. So along those lines of being in rhythm with nature and communing and harmony, we want to do anything else we can to help us practice that in a practical way. For example, return to the phases of the moon and the cycles of nature, living by them and with them, learning about and understanding our relationship to nature, to the seasons, to the moon, the flow of the moon, sunrise, sunset, nature. All these bodies that tell us time, but not time in the restrictive human sense, but they just help us speak to rhythm. Letting go of time and construct and returning to alignment and rhythm. It's really powerful for especially women to do that. We become a very powerful force when we imbue ourselves with the rhythm of life, because that is what women do, or what the Sophia represents, is the one to be in rhythm with life, Gaia, the earth, flow. And I just wrote a little note here, and so as you can understand that then the masculine is the activator. That is why women have the egg, and it's just like this little blob of focused intention, and then the sperm comes in and life creation begins in a more full way, because it is the activator, and we're not the activator part of things. Our feminine nature is to be that space holder for creation. and harmonious to what arrives to us. So what else I was seeing is that there is a river within the womb, a river of life. There's a river of life within the womb that can be activated through intention and a current of energy or an energy pathway that's actually connected to the heart chakra, which is very, very interesting and cool. So, but what we want to note is that we cannot use this place in our womb accurately, appropriately, without first being connected to the heart and to the sky or spirit, to the crown, to spirit. What we can create through this and intend into our womb, when we do this, we become the divine, powerful light of holy matrimony between form and formless. That is what's happening there. The matrimony of the form and the formless. That is what this place is. It is the place of union of these form and formless to become, for transmutation, transformation, to become. This is why it's such a powerful space of creation, and a powerful sort of, you become a powerful creator when you're in touch with that. This womb area is uniquely built for that exact moment of formulating something from essence, non-physical, to materialization. It is just really, I can't even speak about it because I'm just in awe of that process. It is exactly the place of matrimony for the form and the formless to become. It is like magic, and I love magic, so I get excited. Yes, so we want to think about that. Think about that when you connect with yourself. Think about that when you connect with your sisters. About how you could use a language of, you are a holy vessel. I don't really want to use religious language, but you are a sacred vessel. There is sacred here, and being a vessel for something is okay. It's only a vessel for the divine Sophia. That is what you are, and for life. And that is what we can give. What I mean by vessel in all this language is that that's our gift to the world. To be that if we choose, not just through having babies, no, through creation, any type of creation that we want. And another note on this, things that can help us be harmonious and more in our divine femininity, is to remember that for divine feminine, there's something about the music and sound. This is why women singing, especially in groups, is like a bit more natural-ish than like men singing in groups, at present at least, because we are the voice of the mother of Gaia, and we are able to create with sound as well. All beings are able to create with sound, or creator beings, but women can provide that merge, the way that we are merged with Gaia, the way that we are merged with the Sophia in our singing, and that makes it quite powerful. We also breathe things into existence through the voice. This becomes especially powerful when we sing in groups, as I said. That's why, you know, in ancient sort of, I don't know, what is it, like Celtic paganism kind of eras and books and things, there's women dancing and singing in the celebration of nature as part of those religions. We can create in singing, through singing. We can create as the divine mother that you are. So these are things that you can do to help anchor in the divine feminine light, this divine nature that is in each of us and is returning to the earth. And I can't emphasize enough that we are really called as women, if you can, we really are called to practice this and to return this energy help return the energy to Gaia. When we do that, our society, our world will become much more harmonious. We're helping to return balance. We will also be, as women, more empowered and not just like, you know, the less oppression of females, but also individually we step into a really strong remembrance and thus recognition and ability to use the divine power of being woman that we each naturally have, that you are, that we haven't been using. I know that I wasn't using my womb and things until very recently. It's not talked about, and we want to talk about it so that we can facilitate that returning. So let us become who and what we truly are. Let us return to our divine nature and our divine flow of living in a way that is natural to us. And so we become us, we become woman completely. And if you are a male and you've been watching this, thank you. You can support women to do this. You can, just through having this awareness, you are supporting the Sophia. And I'm sure if I sat down and talked with my guides, there would be more suggestions for the masculine and for males at this time as well. But I'll leave it there for now. Thank you for joining me.